everyone, I'm Just Jules with the Just Jules channel, where I am nothing but Just Jules. That's it. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about Stephanie P. Smith. Oh my god, that name is such a buzzword, at least on my feed it is. I've seen old ass videos from like 2 friggin' years ago shit talking that woman. Now, I don't know her personally. I've never met her before in my life. I know who she is only because she was around in the beginning when I started going through my warfare. And when it comes to Stephanie, I think she's awesome. I think she's a sweetheart, and when I think of her, the first word comes to mind is wholesome. If the words had pictures next to it, hers would be next to the word wholesome. And the thing with Stephanie is, I don't know her well enough to say that she's this person or that person. I just know what I've seen of her in my experience going through what I've been going through. And whether or not she likes me or not is neither here nor there. I don't care either way. What I know for certain is that she doesn't deserve to go through the crap that she's going through. She's got a bunch of people up her ass all the time friggin' harassing her. And the reason why I'm standing up for Stephanie is because she helped change my life. She taught me a lot about the Bible, taught me a lot about spiritual warfare, explained a ton of crap that I was completely oblivious, that I had no friggin' idea some of this stuff was going on or even possible. But she would deliver messages, and she'd do so in a kind and gentle way. I interpret it as kind and gentle. I don't know her personally. I have never had a conversation with her. I have never met her in person, and she has never responded to any of the comments. If I'd write a comment on her video, she wouldn't respond. And I don't think that's rude of her or anything like that. I think she just has a whole bunch of people and a whole lot of, only so much amount of time to spend, crawling through comments and commenting on every single one. She's a busy woman. Now, people talk about, copycat this, copycat that. And everybody, it's like we're back in freaking elementary school where, she's copying me. Okay, so she wrote a book. So look on Amazon and look at all the names of the authors. Tons of authors that have written a book and had it published. So with her copying, it boggles my mind, because I, as a writer, and I have a bunch of publications myself. I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn or nothing like that. But I write because that's what I am. I'm a writer. It's what I do. It's what I wanted to be when I grew up. A writer. And so thus I have. And so when somebody turns around, and I'm a multi-genre author, because I've gotten accused of copying a copycat too. So I know what she feels like. See, with me being a multi-genre author, at first I started with horror novels. And then I was introduced to different publishing opportunities by writing in different genres, like steampunk, historical romance, historical horror, fantasy, fantasy romance, supernatural horror, what else? Crime, real crime, because I did write that story. It was like a retelling of H.H. Holmes. That was a fun story to write. It's a fictitious story, but I made sure the facts about H.H. Holmes was accurate, and that's on my YouTube channel. It's the story Infamy. That one turned out pretty damn good. I'm proud of that story. Anyways, I digress. So when I see somebody or hear about somebody writing I want to encourage them to do that. Why? Because I'm a writing geek. I could sit and talk books with anybody for very, 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 for freaking hours. For hours. Just talk about plot bunnies, talk about, different word usage and freaking metaphors and the description and the way people express. Everybody has their own unique voice. You can take a single book idea, right? And you can have like a story starter, for instance, let's say in front of a classroom, and you write like a 2-sentence story idea on a chalkboard, and then ask the 30 students in that class to write a book based just on that. And every single person who writes is going to write a different story. A different story. Why? Because it's how they perceive it. It's how their experience goes. It's their work. It's their words. It's their sense of expression. There is not one person in in that entire classroom, not one person would write the exact same story. Not a single one of them. That's how beautifully unique we are, is that we all have our own voices and we express ourselves differently. And that's a beautiful thing. That's not copycatting. If someone wants to write a book and they write a book, you should applaud them, support them. Everybody has a book in them. You might not be the greatest writer or anything like that, but you do have the capacity to write a book yourself. And as for copycatting, shit. I got accused of being a copycat because mind you, a multi-genre author. I write everything. Everything. The only thing I suck at is writing blurbs. Blurbs and synopsis. I hate that with a fucking passion because I suck at summarizing shit. I'll go on and on and on and on and on. I suck at that. That's that's my writing struggle. That and query letters. Oh dear God. I actually had to buy a book on query letters. On how to write them. But people flip their nuts about copycat. And because everybody is striving to be an original copy. They fight. I'm the original. I'm this. That's my catchphrase. Or that's my genre that I write in. I'm sorry, when you go to a bookstore, how many authors are authors of fantasy romance that you can see on the shelf? All the different authors. Now go to the horror section. How many authors are in the horror section? How many authors are listed in the self-help books or spiritual books or biblical books? You will see a metric ton of different authors. There's not a bookstore, online or in the physical, that states only one single person can write a specific genre and that's it. Only one person's allowed. Well, that doesn't really give the readers that much of an array to choose from, right? Because some authors are going to resonate better with certain people than they do others. There are books out there that people would suggest to me that don't interest me at all. Doesn't mean they're a bad author. It just means there is a book that I'm not interested in. Ugh. It was Stephanie and these old videos that keep on cropping up on my feed. And I saw a couple new ones in reference to her and all the warfare that poor woman has gone through. I've heard hers. I don't know the details. Her life is none of my fucking business as far as I'm concerned. She gives what she feels comfortable with giving when it comes to information about her life. And that's up to her. It's not up to us to fill in the blanks and decide what the motivations are of somebody. Because in my experience, she doesn't really, at least nothing that I've seen. I could be wrong. I don't know. But she's never responded to any of my messages, or let alone, at least caused me any grief personally. I don't think she has. And all the videos that I have watched of her have been videos that have actually helped me on my journey. I mean, educating me about spiritual warfare, explaining what the ringing in my ears is. Oh gosh, what else? Teaching me how to rebuke the intrusive, negative, satanic thoughts and stuff, and rewording that in my head, and rebuking it in the name of Jesus and sending it back and asking for forgiveness. She's taught me, don't wish evil against our enemies, even though sometimes we really, really want, payback, vengeance. But she reminds, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So I don't get why she's catching so much hell. I don't get it. I know some people don't like her, and you're welcome to not like her, but damn, I know what it's like to be picked on. I know what it's like to have shit talked about me, especially publicly. And I know what it feels like to have a ton of people jump online and make reaction videos to whatever I say. And this poor woman, in watching her going through it and stuff, and here she is, standing tall and strong in her faith, following the Lord, following her heart, doing what she was told to do by God the Father. And it's nobody's friggin' place to tell her, dictate what she should and shouldn't do, especially on her own damn channel. When all she's doing is, at least as far as I'm concerned, innocently trying to assist other individuals. Now, I can only speak about my personal experience. I can't speak on behalf of anybody else. And it's not my place to speak on behalf of anybody else, because everybody's experience with another individual is going to be different. Because, I could go up to, let's say, Joe Schmo down the street. And let's say Joe Schmo and I have an argument, and we had a falling out. Now, let's say another person walks up to Joe Schmo, and they think he's great. They think he's awesome. They think he's funny, and they didn't have a bad experience with him or nothing. Just because a person has a bad experience with another person does not give anybody authority to smear the crap out of them and try to get a whole group of people to rally with them against, just because they're upset over a personal slight or whatever it is. And a lot of shit I noticed is orchestrated. I can feel it. Some of this stuff orchestrated. Deliberate hate. Now, like I said, I'm not bashing, and I'm not intending to bash or not validate somebody else's experience with another person. I can only say that I don't have experience with any of them, never had a conversation, never exchanged words, never sat down and had coffee, never had a running chat dialogue or anything. All I know is what my only thing I can talk about with certainty is my own experience in regards to Stephanie P. Smith. And from my experience with her, I am grateful, because a lot of her things that she said, sometimes she would say things that I wouldn't agree with, and we're all allowed to not agree, but she has helped more than she's hindered, at least in, terms of, how her channel's affected my life. And I guess I always try to look at the silver lining in people. I do. And Stephanie has helped me through, back when my spiritual warfare was really bad. It's still really bad. But in the beginning, I wasn't equipped to handle it. And then I ran across Stephanie's channel, and some of the things that she was explaining about spiritual warfare, it clicked in my head. I'm just like, holy crap, that makes total sense. Holy crap. And so She has changed my life. She has educated me on subjects that I didn't friggin' realize. I had no friggin' idea. Like, one recent video I watched of hers was her explaining the ringing in the ears and the sounds. And I always thought, because like I ended up going to the doctor years ago, and I got diagnosed with tinnitus. It's the constant ear ringing. But then I noticed the fluctuation between the ears and the sounds, the tones, sometimes it's a shh, like a freaking static. You know, the old TVs and stuff, the old tube TVs, sometimes I would hear that. And she explained it in a way that made sense to me. And so that clued me in on, you know, my experience with spiritual warfare. And she validated my experience by telling her story and her experiences. And there are other people, and unless you feel it for yourself, you just don't know. You can have an idea, but some things you have to experience in order to fully comprehend. And me personally, with all the crap I've had talked about me over the years, the false accusations, the smear campaigns and stuff, I cannot just sit back and watch another person go through that, especially if it's gracing my freaking feed. This is a phone that I pay for. I bought this phone. I pay for it every month. And I'm not going to sit here and keep my mouth shut when I'm seeing another person who has taught me things and helped me see the Lord in my situation so much different. So different. And there's so many people who are hating on that woman. And it's like, I heard her talking about it before, about the warfare and the smear campaigns and everything else. But it wasn't until I started seeing the videos grace my feed did I realize that, holy crap, I'm not the only one who's going through it. And I'm not going to sit here and allow it, especially if it's showing up on my feed and somebody's trying to turn me against her. Why should I turn against her when that woman has done nothing but help? If she said anything nasty about me or underhanded, I didn't pick it up. And no one can tell me that she's a bad person because of how she has changed my life. And she helped me through some really dark times and shed a light on areas of my life where I was falling short, and reminding me of what is right, what is true, and what is of the devil. And I'm not knocking anybody else's experience, because like I said, every person's experience with another person is not going to be the same. That you cannot replicate dynamics with anybody. There are people you can get close to that like a similar vibe, similar personality and stuff, and similar connection, but similar is not the same. There are some things that just cannot be replicated. And that's where we all fall short in that respect, because we, like when we're mad at somebody, it's like we want everyone else to be just as mad at them as we do. And so that's when people get together with other people and talk about another person and then smear them some more, and you know, everybody gets on board, and it's kind of like freaking mass brainwashing is what it is. Mass brainwash, hive mind, mob mentality. And I've been shit talked so much, it doesn't bother me. I've been shit talked so much for years, and it's like, okay, what else is anybody saying about me? Okay, what's the new rumor today? What zombie rumor are you going to resurrect from the depths of the graveyard of hell? Are you gonna slap me with this time? And there were times, I don't know if anybody has stood up for me. I don't know. I have no friggin' idea. And if someone did stand up for me, I probably didn't see it, which is why I'm always feeling alone. But I am tired of seeing hate videos of Stephanie P. Smith on my freaking timeline. That is not even remotely okay with me. I find that to be incredibly disrespectful and out of line. I will not tolerate it. Do not come over to my feed and start talking shit about somebody. Because my philosophy is live and let live. Be kind. Because someone you know is fighting a hard battle that you don't know anything about. That's Plato right there. Plato said, be kind because everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And the last thing we all need is for other people to make our battles worse by projecting and talking about them. Now, I'm not going to tag Stephanie in this or anything like that or make a big show or anything like that. I imagine she might run across it, she might not. I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. But the hate shit about her on my damn feed needs to stop. I am not okay with it. That woman has done nothing directly to me, to my knowledge, and the experience I have had with her thus far has been her teaching and instructing. Sometimes she points out things that I do that's, not the greatest, but it actually holds up a mirror so I can see where and how I can improve, where and how I can get stronger and closer to God. I am so fucking sick of hate. And I know people say, oh, you're not a Christian because you cuss. Yes, I cuss. I smoke cigarettes. I smoke pot. I have a dark sense of humor. I have to under the circumstances. It's how I cope. But I have been slandered, defamed, harassed, abused for freaking years. No one is going to dredge that crap up about another person on my feed and expect me to keep mum about it. I don't freaking think so. So, be kind. Everybody's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. People are going through and enduring crap that you have absolutely no idea. And you never know. You can either use your words to heal or you can use them to drag another person down. And I know I myself have done both. We all have. We all have. But I'm not going to sit here and I can't ignore it. I can't just scroll my feed and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to ignore it. I can't. Because that woman has taught me things that I would have never have freaking figured out on my own if it wasn't for her. I think she is an inherently good person, and I think she has a very good, pure heart. I think her heart is in the right place. And I think a lot of people are misguided, especially if they, like let's say you make a video and someone that watches it gets the wrong idea or takes it personally, thinking that you're talking about them, and they take it as a personal affront. And they take it personally. And when they take it personally, that's when it shifts, and you got the hate brigade coming at you. Well, she made this video, or he made this video, and it made me feel this way, and I think she was talking to me, and yada, yada, yada. Do I believe in subliminal messages? Yes. But only by my own personal experience. And that is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to delve any further than that. When I'm done with my book, then you'll read the whole thing. But as for Stephanie, I don't think she would risk her soul. I do not think that woman would risk her conscience by jumping online and spewing witchcraft on another person, risking her soul, risking her conscience, risking her gifts, just to make somebody else feel bad. I don't think she's that type of person, personally. But that's my experience with her. You might have something completely different experience with her than I do. And that's okay. But just know, stop posting hate shit about other people on my feed. Because I will say something. I don't care if people talk shit about me. You're going to do it anyway. Whatever, I don't care. But if you attack someone who has helped me through the darkest moments of these past 5 years, you bet your tail I'm going to say something. You might not like to hear it, but this is my truth. My experience with her has been a good experience. What other people's experience, that's neither here nor there. She's never outright done anything to me that I'm aware of. And having been through warfare myself, I'd appreciate having somebody make a video like this, like I'm doing right now, on my behalf. And if I saw something like that on my feed, where someone was standing up for me against a whole shit ton of people, that would make me feel a lot better and a lot safer, and it would make me feel comforted knowing that there's somebody out there who actually cares and who thinks that the online abuse and slander and defamation is wrong. I'm not afraid to open my mouth. Sometimes I stick my size 9 in it, where it's SOLE food instead of SOUL food. So, people are allowed to have their opinions of other people, but I don't think that anybody should be gathering a gang together to pick on a person. And the videos, some of them are old videos that I've seen of hating on Stephanie, and I don't need to see that. I don't need that on my feed. Why are you sending me this? I don't get it. I don't understand. What is, I don't know if someone was trying to, hint that maybe she was coming up against me or something. I'm not sure. I don't know. And I don't care either way. I don't. All I care about is knowing what it feels like to be spiritually attacked en masse. And I am in a position to where I can speak out and against doing that to another person. Doesn't matter what my sentiments are about any of you. Any of you. It don't fucking matter. It doesn't belong on my feed. I don't need to see that. I don't want to get in the middle of a beef that you have with somebody else. Nor do I believe that it's a good idea to go on YouTube and talk mad shit. Especially if you don't really know what's going on, which is why I'm limiting myself on what I talk about. And admitting the fact that I don't know her personally. I have never met her. I have never had a conversation with her. I haven't even exchanged emails, phone numbers, nothing with the woman. All I've done was watch her videos on YouTube. And then I started, over the years, and then just recently, I saw a bunch of resurrected hate videos against her that were like from 2 years ago. And then a couple other people made more current videos in her defense and stuff. And it's like, dude, that does not belong on my feed. And I will say something. Live and let live. That woman's not doing anything but preaching, exercising the gifts that God has bestowed upon her and trying to help a multitude of people. She's doing it from the kindness of her heart. I don't think she has malicious intent. And how her past is used against her is utter bullcrap. Complete and total bullcrap. And I know what that feels like because I had my past held against me. And that's not okay because people have the capacity to change. See, I'm not going to get into Stephanie's past because that's none of my fucking business. But I know where she started from, and I know where I started from. And the paths were similar, not the same, not even remotely the same. She's a completely different person in a completely different part of the world from me. But I can relate to her struggle a great deal. And because I can relate to her struggle, I can feel her pain. Because I know how much it has sucked for me. And it breaks my heart that I'm seeing another person go through the same thing that I'm going through. And that's not cool. I'm not okay with that. If you have a beef with Stephanie, keep it off my phone. Keep it off my feed. That's between you and her. That has nothing to do with me. And if you think for a second you're going to turn me against somebody over a personal beef you have, think again. I have my own mind. I make up my own mind. And I'll be the judge of the person. I'm not going to sit here and let somebody tell me who a person is when they have shown me who they are over time. And Stephanie has shown me that she is, I would say, she's neutral good. If she had a D&D alignment, she would be neutral good. I've actually been going through my head of all the different people that I've encountered on, during my journey and stuff. And I started categorizing people D&D style. Like there's and I actually when I was doing tarot, I actually made alignment cards with all the different D&D alignments for the character sheets. I wrote that down and it was actually accurate and stuff. And I'm just like, you know what? I gotta do this with people because there's some people who are neutral good. There are some people that are true neutral. They don't, either way. There's like a couple people that have been chaotic good. There have been people who are rebel evil and stuff. And I don't know. I guess this is a way for me to cope with my own situation is doing that. I know it sounds wonky, but that's how I cope. And how I classify people. And I don't classify somebody as good or bad or whatever. It's their alignment. D&D characters. If you guys don't know what alignment is, look it up on Google. Dungeons and Dragons alignment. And it'll show you the different alignments that are available to pick for your characters and stuff. And you'd actually be surprised how that applies to people in real life. So, I'm a nerd. I'm a fucking geek. But please, I am asking you politely, do not post hate shit on my feed in regards to another person. If you're smashing hate in my face, okay, whatever. What difference is that from any other friggin' day? But I do not have to sit here and listen to and deal with somebody hating another person in front of me. I am not going to be a bystander in that. Fuck that. I am not having that on my conscience. I am not going to have that on my conscience and keep my mouth shut and watch as that woman suffers spiritual warfare in a similar way I have. I can't do it. I can't keep my mouth shut when it comes to this. I'm sorry. Stephanie's taught me a lot. She's taught me a lot. And I've been trying to make this video. I started it a couple times and went on a tangent. And I was just like, well, I don't want to, kick the hornet's nest or anything like that or cause any trouble for Stephanie or anything like that by sticking up for her. But I had to. Because that was it. I kept on seeing today. a couple videos from someone that was hating on her, and I'm just like, you know, that's it. I can't. I can't even right now. I am not going to sit here and enable abuse. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And no one is going to turn me against another person just because they don't like them or they had an issue with them. As far as I'm concerned, each person that approaches me with a clean slate. If I don't know who you are and you've never done me wrong, you have a freaking crystal clear slate. Completely crystal clear. And it remains crystal clear up until the time that you start betraying me. And each betrayal is a scuff mark, like a black mark. It's like taking a Sharpie pen and drawing a line on somebody. Now, after a while, here I go with after a while. After a while, sometimes you end up getting basically tattooed with pain from one person. As they, take that Sharpie pen and they call you a name, there's a black mark. They betray you, there's a black mark right next to it, until the whole person is a giant Sharpie pen. So that's how I give chances. I don't dislike the people that's coming up against Stephanie, and I certainly do not dislike Stephanie. I think she's cool. She's helped me out a lot, and I've learned a great deal from her. Her heart's in the right place, and she's following her purpose, and she's being obedient unto what she's, what her mission is here on earth. And I'm not gonna step in her lane and get in her way or try to make her life more difficult than it has to be. Because life is hard enough. We're all having a sucky ass time dealing with this whole life thing. It's not easy for any of us. It outright sucks. And there are so many people who strive and who want to make life even more difficult for other people. And the reason why I've been kind of waffling on how to make this video is because I didn't want to cause any more trouble for her by, opening my mouth. Because again, it's none of my business. It's not, but I just, this morning, that was it for me. I was like, I'm making this video and I'm posting it because I'm tired of seeing hate stuff on Stephanie on my feed that I pay for. And I know darn well that my feed is manipulated, so I know darn well somebody's putting those hate messages up for me to see on purpose. And no, until that woman does something directly to me and I find out about it, she's got a clean slate with me. Now, when it comes to people using subliminals to control and abuse people, yes, they were on point with that. Now, in regards to Stephanie, mind you, I'm not bringing Stephanie into this, but the existence of subliminal messages used to harass and stuff is an actual thing. So I can validate those women's feelings in that respect. However, I cannot validate their experience with Stephanie because I don't know their experience with Stephanie, and it's not my place to judge. I can only judge by my own interactions with her, and we've never had an interaction, like ever. I'm sure she's seen me online and stuff. There's no doubt in my mind that she's seen me. Who hasn't seen me? All the parts of me. My philosophy is live and let live. Live and let live. But I can't sit here and let somebody get made fun of and picked on right in front of me when I have the ability to say, stop. Keep that off of my feed. Because I don't want to hear it. Because I don't care. Because at the end of the day, all of us, every single one of us, have to face God the Father. And the thing with God is that when we sin and we make a mistake, or we say the wrong thing, we do the wrong thing, and when we're up face to face with God, He's gonna sit there and be like, okay, Jules, you did this, this, and this. I cannot stand there and say, well, God, this person over here made me. No, we're not talking about that person over there. We're not talking about what that person did to elicit that response or that reaction or that choice that you made. We're talking about the conscious choice that you decided to make. And the conscious decision that people make, and what people don't understand, is that gossip is gossip. Gossip is gossip. And since I don't know Stephanie personally, and I see gossip about her on my feed, that's stuff that's none of my business, none of my concern. It didn't need to be said or spread. What does it do except for bringing somebody else harm and pain? And especially if you don't know what they're actually going through on a day-to-day basis. So God's going to be like, okay, why did you do that? Were you helping the situation, or were you making it worse? And that's the one thing that I was afraid of. I was afraid that I would make it worse for her, and I didn't want to do that. So with Stephanie, she's taught me a lot, and the only thing I have to say to her is thank you. That's the only thing I have to say to her is thank you. Thank you, and I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through. You don't deserve it. You did nothing to deserve it. I don't know if my voice or this message will mean anything to you. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if you'll ever watch it. But I will not accept that sort of treatment toward you on my feed, or you or anyone else, if I catch it. Because sometimes people will say snarky crap about other people, and I don't actually catch it. So if that's actually happened to anybody else in the past, and I didn't say anything, that means I totally was oblivious to it and didn't pick up on it at the time. A lot of times I much prefer to stay quiet and, stay in my own lane. But bringing that crap to my feed is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I will not tolerate it, and I better not see any more hate, anything towards that woman on my feed. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So please keep your opinions about that woman to yourself. Keep me out of it. And for the love of crying out loud, live and let live. Let the woman do what she wants. It's her life. Just because you don't like her does not mean you should start a campaign about her where I am. It's bad enough dealing with my own crap. But I will not put up with anybody talking smack on my feed about anybody, especially someone who has helped me. And she has been a constant with me on my journey. There's been a number of people who have been a constant for me on my journey. And I appreciate the crap out of them for it. Because I wouldn't be the person I am today had it not been for their influence. And God brought those people into my life to make that difference in my life. The only thing I have is gratitude towards that woman, because she has taught me so much. And I pray that all of the kindness that she has shown me and others returns to her tenfold. In the name of Jesus and by his blood. So, you all take care. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Please keep your drama about Stephanie off of my feed. You're not going to turn me against her. That's just not going to happen. I ain't a perfect Christian. I am no saint. I am not a saint. I'm sitting here smoking. Hello. Come on now. I got a freaking bag of weed here. I ain't a perfect Christian. I got tattoos all over. Does that make me a bad Christian? Or are you just looking at the shell and not the soul? Because all this fleshy bits, that's just, packaging. That's all it is. It's packaging. The real me lives in here and in here. This right here is just packaging. So, live and let live. Be kind. Because you never know. Another thing I'll tell you, you'll never know the influence that you have on another individual and how much of a strong impression that you can leave upon an individual. Because there have been times on my feed where I've been so distraught and so lost and so depressed that I could barely get out of bed. Just sitting there doom scrolling, freaking out. And then someone would post like a meme or post a video and it would bring a smile to my face. And sometimes it was just that meme or just that video that got me breathing to the next day as I Lamassed my way through the hell I was going through. So you never know just how much of an impressive impact you can make on an individual. Just like I don't even have a freaking clue if people even listen to me or what kind of, influence I've had. I have no freaking clue. I am clueless. Clueless. But I will stand up for people I believe in, and I believe in Stephanie. I believe she's doing good work, and I believe her heart's in the right place. And her business is none of mine and should not be shared on my feed as a means to discredit her. Not cool. Not okay. I will not tolerate it. And if it happens again, it will be blocked. Period. Period. She doesn't need to see it, and I sure shit don't either. That's, and some of those videos were old as balls. Old as balls. That's stuff from 2 years ago. We're living in 2025. We're not going that way. We're going into 2026. That's what we're working towards. It's the other people who want to, time travel back in the day when bloody happened. Yeah, that's a starting point. That's not the finish line. Everybody has a starting point. And I imagine not everybody wants to relive their past, especially if they've been through hell. And what you reap, you shall sow. And I will stand up for Stephanie. I will stand up for the people I believe in. I'll sit here for 48 minutes and stand up for her. I don't care. She doesn't have to like me for me to stand up for her. I'm just going to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I have a right to not tolerate that sort of behavior on the phone and the feed that I pay for. I ain't doing it. Not doing it. She's a good woman. And Steph, if you ever happen to watch this at any point, I'm not going to tag you or anything or make a big hoorah or nothing. But if you ever come across this video, I want you to know thank you. Thank you for all the years from the time that I realized that this all was going on and happening to me with the spiritual warfare and everything. Thank you for being one of the ones to let me know that it was going on. Thank you for teaching me how to rewire my brain spiritually so I'm not projecting negativity towards anybody within my mind. Thank you for teaching me how to rebuke the evil in my life. Thank you for teaching me about the ears ringing. Thank you for all of the scriptures that you've brought up that were the exact message I needed to hear right in that moment that helped me get through to the next day. Because that's happened more than once. And I never got a chance to thank you for that. So this is me thanking you for all the years that you've made such a freaking profound difference in my life just by you being you. Thank you, because your strength inspires me to keep going. And I pray to God that someday you find rest and peace and relief from the stress and drama that has been forced upon you. And I pray that all of your good deeds come back on you tenfold, because, sweetheart, you deserve it. You're changing lives. You're a positive influence in this world. And the world needs more people like you. You take care. Thank you immensely. 100 billion times thank you. God bless you. You take care. I've got your back.